reasons why I started this podcast was to at least come out of my shell, share a little bit of myself, my knowledge, my experience as a creative, and even other aspect of life too. So the fact that I see some people like you doing it brilliantly and with so much positive energy, it inspires me too.
Yeah.
So how can you help your boy unlock that part of him?
You're already doing it. First of all, you should give yourself a pat on the back, because I don't feel like you're a very introverted, reserved. Well, not maybe.
Am I introverted?
Maybe not very.
So this part now, I was sorry for cutting you short. I was thinking about it recently. I'm not introverted per se.
Even then, you still want to. You will still go and recharge somewhere. That's what makes an introvert. It doesn't mean that an introvert doesn't have people that they are crazy with. Introverts are probably the craziest people.
But I would say I'm in the middle. I'm an ambivert.
Maybe now you are becoming. Because that's the thing about growing.
Okay.
What growth does to you is that you evolve. Because even extroverts are supposed to be very loud out there and all of those things, but as you mature as a person, you have to tone some things down. Some flares of your extroversion have to be tuned down just a bit if you want to get into some rooms, if you want to do some kind of work. So all of us, we evolve as human beings. And somebody that started as an introvert might eventually become an ambivert because maybe they are a CEO or they are a co-founder or something.
Actually, that's true.
And then there's us, that we are very energetic, that we need to be calming down too sometimes, so we grow as people. So I feel like you're on that side. You're on the side, you're on the spectrum of, internalizing things, taking things a little bit in, just being cool and calm and collected. You're on that side. And that doesn't mean that you're not crazy, because a lot of the craziest people I know that are very freaky.
Actually, I know I'm not crazy.
And they think the weirdest sort of things, and they have the weirdest sort of opinions.
I'm not crazy in Jesus' name. I'm not crazy.
You don't want to know what goes on in their head. When they are quiet, they are thinking of 1 million scenarios. So you guys scare me to a certain extent. Yeah, so I feel like you're doing a good work, pushing yourself out. I feel like putting yourself out to do this is already a step towards telling your story, because this is a part of life story that you care about. Creatives, there's more to them than just the work that they do. They also have a life. They also have a love life that should be worth telling. So you're not just telling stories. Sorry, you're helping people curate their stories and then help them tell it. So in a way, you've even gone a little bit advanced. So I think that's a really good job.
Thank you so much.
And I think the major advice that I would say is don't overthink it. For a lot of people, they overthink how to tell their stories online, how to tell their stories, how to write. They overthink. Have you ever opened your Google Docs or your Google Docs, please, all of that things, or your Evernote or your notepad, and you had an idea in your head, and then you just start putting it down, and nothing came out?
Okay, for me, I'm not the writing person.
But what can you do?
So there was a time I was searching for apps to, like voice journaling. Do you understand? I think I found one, but even that one, I didn't really do it eventually. Do you get? So at different points, I bought journals, I bought diaries and all those things just to document things. So what I do now is on my phone, I have like Google Keep and some other stuff anything that just comes to my head, I just put it down. I have notes. I have a lot of notes that I just bullet point. But the way they talk about journaling, you need to talk.
I journal, but I don't journal for like my everyday life. It's not like I'm like,
so it doesn't have to be like every day.
It doesn't have to be an everyday thing. It also doesn't have to be writing. It could be audio. I have friends that is the same way we give. So it's not the same, but it's the same concept to learning. It's also the same concept with sharing or with telling your story. There are different type of learners. There are people that are visual learners. They have to see pictures. They have to see designs.
I am one of them.
You get? Me, I'm not. So it's not me. That's how they learn. Some people are auditory learners.
Both.
They can't read. So I have a friend that listens. He can listen to 2 books in 2 weeks, and he will tell you what he learned, the things he enjoyed. But give him the paper or the ebook to read, connect pass to second page. It's just how we learn. Some people are a mix of both. Some people are observant learners. They pay attention to things to learn. That's also the way you are with how you want to tell your story. And thank God there are many ways and many platforms and many resources that can help you no matter the kind of person that you are. If you're an audio person, if audio can work for you, and if you're even shy behind the camera, you never have to come. Just start your podcast.
Don't shake my table.
Start your podcast and start talking about it. Look at this babe. She did her own true writing. What's her name? Awa. That recently just shared her photo. It's been years that we've been following her, just causing chaos, sharing stories and writing stuff. Now we are finally seeing her face. We don't know whether she will ever give us a video or something. We don't know what the next phase for her is. But she's been able to build an audience and tell her stories and share how crazy her mind works with us for years. And we couldn't put a face to it. We couldn't put anything to it.
True.
She was always just typing. She was always having written words. Some other guys like Salem, we sweep you off your face in 58 seconds.
Shout out to Salem.
So that's how he tells his story. Most of his videos, most of his content, they're usually very video or very what's it called, audio visual related, and that's also how I think he learns too. I think he doesn't enjoy reading as well.
That's true.
And there are many people. Some people is reels that they do. They know how to do pam pam pam. Make I give a line down. Me, I can never do it, and I like being in front of the camera. And some other people can write. There are some Medium writers I follow on Medium that I don't know their face. They don't have a face picture, to their profile, but their mind is amazing. They are really creative and they're super good at what they do. They probably don't do any other thing anywhere, but you see their article, 14.6k claps, 500 comments. That's a good work right there. And they're meant to find the format that works for you. No matter the format is, there's a tool. There's a tool for you. If it's YouTube, if it's TikTok, if it's Instagram Reels, if it's come and do video, if it is audio, if it is design. Some people, for people's Instagram, it's just design. Look at Chris Do. Before he started doing video and doing, it was for the longest time, it was just visuals. All his Instagram is filled with 5 ways to shaking it on 7, all those very carousels. So find the format that works for you and stick with it until you have evolved into another person that can now do some other formats. So for a lot of people, overthinking, that's always the problem. You're like, but this person did the video, me so I want my video to do. You're not the same person. You don't have the experience that person has. You don't have the kind of story that person has. You don't have the kind of mind that person has. Some people will walk into this space and they've already pictured how they will start an article or what they would tweet. Based on, you will see the Twitter and you'll be like, it cannot be us that this person just described. So find your own strengths. Don't overthink it. You can't at the beginning start comparing yourself to people who have been doing it for years. There are some people that have been doing it for years and they are still not even at they just celebrated their 100k followers or they are this. You can't be comparing yourself to people like that. Start your own day. Don't overthink things and just share.
Everything I can so much relate with everything you said, and it's very, very true. So the audiovisual part of it that you said, that's my kind of person. I can count the number of books I've read in my life. Sure, you get, but when it comes to podcasts, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to anything video, I can consume as much as I can. Do you understand? So, and like you said, in most cases, it is how you receive those kind of information that you want to. So. For those that are very close to me, they know how long I've been planning to start this podcast. Like how long? It's not a year or two that I've been planning to start it, but overthinking, like you said. Okay, initially the format I wanted to use for this podcast, this is not it. Do you understand? This was not it. Like initially, I had other concepts, but just because I don't want to overthink it, I just want to start where I am, what I have, and all those things. I had to just put this together and just
Don't let the favority of the internet carry you away from telling your story, because the point of the story is not to tell us that you have arrived. It's to show us the journey of how you got there.
And that's one of my major goals for this podcast.
So start with what you have. Start with where you are at. everything is not going to be perfect. Even when you have all the money and you have all the gadgets and all the cameras and staring at you, you still will find an excuse to not do it. Because ask some guys, they have those things, but they're not doing them. So it's easier now. Build the habits. It's called environmental design. You are in design, so I think you know what I'm talking about. Whatever it is that you have, you table your life around it in such a way that it makes room for something. Things, as your life begins to change and other things begin to be part of your life, you are still able to do that because you've already built your life around it. So for example, now I work in tech. I am creating content. I am sharing my story. Before I started working in tech, when I was working in retail, I was doing it. I was sharing my story. What do I used to do back then when I was working in retail? I was working in SRI Luxury. In the morning when I go to the storehouse where we had the mattresses and stuff, I take pictures where the beds are. I do videos where the beds are before work starts. Work is supposed to start at 9. I get there at 8. Sometimes I get there at 8:30. 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes at work, I am creating content for the week for myself. During lockdown, I was creating content back to back. Every morning, even sometimes that we know bath during that lockdown, I still create.
People should go back to our page and figure out the one.
I will still create content. When I was working in the agency, that was in Maryland as well. During my break time, or if I go to work early, I still created content. So my life is a content created life. So when I bring out my phone and I want to write something down, or I want to take a picture, I want to take a video, it's not because just for the purpose of I want to share it. Mm-hmm. It's also because the way I've designed my life is I'm used to documenting it. It's almost spiritual. Nice. So a lot of the things that you see online are the things I want you to see. They're not everything about my life. Everything you see online is true, but it's curated. Mm-hmm. I say today, this is what I want to post. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, this is what I want to post. If for every one video that you see, there are 1,000 that have not kissed the face of Instagram that are in my on my cloud, in my archive, that will never get there. There are moments that I go out with my friends, with people I love, that I don't even share all the videos and stuff that I take. I just enjoy it. I just look at it, laugh, have a good time, and reminisce on all the things that I felt, Memories. So, if you want to tell your story, I think the easiest way is to have a, content curating lifestyle. When you're experiencing things,
document it in any way
you can. It doesn't always happen for everybody quickly. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it may feel like you are ruining the moment, but you're not ruining it. You're documenting it. Yeah. You don't. If your mind doesn't want to put it out, don't put it out. But you have it after you have experienced something. The way I felt that day. But a video can remind you.
True. Yeah.
Of how it really.
There
are
times
felt.
When you go through your phone and you see pictures from.
And every emotion you felt that year comes back.
Up. Yeah.
That's why they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'll be worth more than 1,000 words. A video too. Is worth more than
billions of words.
So it's very important. Start with what you have. Don't try to be like all these your faves. Your faves have paid their dues. They've been doing it for years. Some of them started with a cracked iPhone 6, and now they are living in Lekki. They have their apartment. They have a proper studio set up. But it hasn't affected the outputs and the quality of the work that they do. Yeah. But if you are just focused on the tools.
At the end of the day. Thank you so much. You've really, really shared a lot. Until some other time, my name is Olokunle, and bye. Bye. Thank you.